Now, if I hold the level against the wall right here, and I hold the level plumb, straight up and down, put my hand there, look at this gap between the level and the brick.
Big gap, what does that represent?
That tells me that the wall is bowed out right there.
Seriously, like 2 or 3 inches bowed out?
2 or 3 inches.
So is this just a veneer facade, or?
Well, it's actually a structural bearing wall for the roof, and it's 2 brick wide.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have a gable roof sitting on top of there. So when the snow gets on the roof, it pushes the roof down, pushes the wall out.
Pushes the wall out
Right,
with it.
that's right. So now when the snow melts, the wall comes back. So it's been moving back and forth since the building's been built.
I don't suppose that's by design.
It's not by design. So also what's happened on the inside, some of the structural integrity of the wall has been compromised because the mortar inside between the brick is falling out.
But shouldn't something be holding this front wall to the building so that doesn't happen?
Right here. This dividing wall that runs down the center of the building down here to divide this unit to that unit, that brick wall is tied into the front wall, and that has broken free.
Ay, ay, ay. All right.
Now, not original to the house, but there's the big star and a bolt right there, and that goes into the floor structure that runs from left to right.
Also trying to hold this front wall to the building?
Right, because it started quite a while ago.
Ah.
So they tied it there, and they tied it on the 3rd floor.
So you're telling me it's a bearing wall.
For the
I
roof.
heard that it's moving for like 100+ years.
Yeah.
And then I heard broke free.
Pretty bad. Let me show you.
Oh yeah, you did keep going on with the demolition, didn't you, Tom?
Yeah,
Right
well,
down to the brick, huh?
Yeah, I had to. All right, so now right here, this is the neighbor's wall, and this is the outside wall. You can see this big gap right here?
You sure can.
And down here, you can actually see where the brick is broken away on the sidewall and gone with the front.
So that's just where it bowed and literally pulled itself out of this wall.
Right.
Wow.
All right, now, originally, the structure, there wasn't any real structure on this wall. It was just strapped like this. All that did is gave a flat spot to attach the plaster and lather to.
So no wood framing, all the weight being carried by these brick walls.
No. So what I'm going to do is we're going to frame a wall in the basement. We've framed a wall on the 1st floor. We're going to do it on the 2nd floor and the 3rd floor to share some of the load of the roof, taking it off the brick wall.
Yeah, so that solves one of our problems.
Right. Now the old timers, as you saw outside, because the walls were starting to pull out, they put the star and the bolt out there through the brick.
So star out here, brick wall here.
Right, a piece of steel on the inside that nails to the underside of the floor joist, stopping the wall from going out any further. So now what I'm doing, because we have a concrete sill and a concrete header outside, I'm going to attach a threaded rod to that. So I'm going to drill through the wood into, but not through, the concrete sill or the concrete header. Inject some epoxy, put the threaded rod into the epoxy, then with a nut and a washer, I can hold the wall from going out any further.
So same basic idea as the star, we're just not going to see anything on the outside.
Exactly.
You talk about going to do, you jumped right on this.
Well, I was really worried about this. Yeah. Now here in the back wall, we have another problem.
All sorts of problems with our brick, huh?
Yeah, you can see the mortar is wet and it's all crumbling and pulling away.
Yep, so now how bad is this? Is it just isolated in this corner?
No, this goes all the way up the whole back wall.
Oh, great.
So we've already started fixing that on the 2nd floor. Now my mason, Mark McCullough, parged this whole wall.
Parged it, huh? Now wouldn't the solution normally be repointing all those brick joints?
Well, he thought about it. He could have just scraped out all the loose mortar, mix up some new, and put it in between the joints, pointing the wall. But he wanted to go a step further. So he scraped out the joints, mixed up some cement, and he just basically covered the whole wall, filling the loose joints. And then he took a layer of wire lath and forced it right over the surface, and took another layer when it was still wet and parged right over that, sandwiching the wire between the 2 layers.
Basically stuccoing the inside of this brick wall.
Exactly. Now the other thing that we did is we took the wire lath before it went on the wall and we bent it. So now when we put the plate down, we can fasten it there on the bottom, and we've already fastened it at the top.
Suspenders and who knows what else. All right.
Now that we're up here on the 3rd floor, we can see some of the history and how this place was actually built. And if you look over here, you can see that originally this was just a simple gable. And back in the 1980s, when we think it was renovated, they added the shed roof. This is all newer construction. And that low-pitch roof, when it gets covered with snow, adds a lot of load to the roof, which is creating some problems. Now also, if you look at the original roof, the rafters are 4x3s. So there was a purlin that ran across to split the rafter span to carry the load. You can see the beam right here. This one's still remaining, We think it's a 6 by 6 or 6 by 8, and it spans the whole width of the house, about 20 feet. Now, when there's a lot of snow or load on the roof, that beam will sag. And when it sags, it wants to push the building out, front and back. And that's what's causing some of our problems. These rafters are sitting right on top of the brick wall. Now, to fix it, Tom has added wire lath and parged the brick on the inside. He's added another stud or sill here where you can place new studs to add support to the rafters. Now, back in the 80s, when they did the renovation, they tried to strengthen that beam by adding a couple 2x12s on this side, a couple 2x12s on this side, and then bolting them through. But even that wasn't enough.
Right. So what we need to do is stiffen that up. And to do that, we're going to use this material right here. These are laminated veneer lumber or engineered beams. They're 14 3/4 wide by 1 3/4 thick. We're going to put 2 of them there and bolt them against that, and that'll solve that problem.
Right. Now, in the 80s, when they added these 2x12s, they built this corbel to help support it. We know that this original beam is set in the brick, and we're going to do the same thing.
Right. We've cut a pocket on that side. We've cut another pocket on that side. Now, because we get the beam in between these 2 walls and still rest on the walls, we have to slide it deep into that pocket and then pull it back so half of it rests on this wall and half of it rests on that wall.
Not a lot of room to maneuver in a heavy beam.
Absolutely. Okay, push it up. Now over. Here we go.
All right. Right? Yeah.
Don't let it come out. All right.
Okay, this way, easy.
How's that?
Probably in about 1 inch or so. We'll secure it with some 5-inch lags every couple feet.
All right, there's one.
Okay.
All right.
A little more.
Whew, it's heavy, Tommy.
Yeah.
Whoop, right there, that's perfect.
So let's see, Tommy. We got the original beam plus 1, 2, 3, 4 2x12s.
Yeah.
And now 2 new LVLs.
Yeah.
That gonna hold the roof? You're gonna sleep now?
I'm going to sleep really good now.
Hope so. Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.